Nancy Pelosi has been spotted on radar orbiting the outer rings of Saturn together with the rest of the Democratic Party. The incoming administration intends to tap energy sources sitting underneath moccasins, and Coulter details how Donald Trump could ruin his presidency. My name's Howard Riell, and this is Riell Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com and on Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter at hashtag Riell Truth, my website, RiellTruth.com, and in the book, Riell Truth, Stay Angry, and as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Our call-in number, 877-254-7524. My friends, welcome back. Eyes from Grabian.com. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said that despite Democrats losing the House, Senate, and almost two-thirds of state houses and the White House, the American people don't want a new direction. The California congressperson appeared on CBS's Face the Nation Sunday and instead said the issue facing Democrats is simply a failure of communication. The host, some guy named Dickerson, said, "The Democratic Party is in the moment of questioning about its identity. You were reelected to lead the Democrats in the House. What do you tell Democrats who want a new direction and then go to you? What are you going to do differently?" Pelosi says, quote, "Well, I don't think people want a new direction. Our values unify us, and our values are about supporting America's working family." Stop! Perhaps I was being charitable by saying that she's as close to Earth as the outer rings of Saturn. Nancy Pelosi must have had a psychotic break during the entire year-and-a-half-long election process and doesn't know what happened in England with Brexit. She doesn't understand Americans do want. Human beings on Earth do want a new direction. Her party is in cinders. It's just about extinct because Americans want a new direction. She represents the old, sick, stupid, sleazy, disgusting, ineffective, corrupt direction. And she's not willing to give up her grasp on power. That's all it is for Pelosi. All it is for Hillary Clinton. All it is for Chuck Schumer. All it is for the Democrat Party. Screw America. We're deaf, dumb, and blind. Just give us what we want. Well, there's a good reason the Democrats are almost extinct. And with Nancy Pelosi still at the helm, more of the same is on its way. It's Monday, and it's Riell Truth, and I'll be right back.
Higher rates, lower rates, negative rates, bail-ins, bailouts, and so much more. You know why you need to own gold and silver. At the Patriot Trading Group, we're a different kind of company. We have no commission salespeople, no boiler room sales calls, no high-price spokesmen. We believe in treating you with honesty and respect and delivering you the best products at the best price. Buying or selling, call us at 800-951-0592 or go to our website at allamericangold.com.
Do you have any health challenges that concern you? If you said yes, you are ready to evolve yourself. Call today and qualify for a free pain treatment. 970-667-4669.
I'm Dr. Stanowski, chiropractor, radio host, author of Evology, a new healthcare paradigm for the 21st century. My all-natural approach is affordable and can show improvement in as little as one visit. Truth be told, holistic health starts with a healthy life plan, and those who execute that plan over a consistent course catch up, heal, and thrive. I guarantee. If your health is fading and on prescription drugs, if you want your energy back, deeper sleep, pain-free, or refocus an unresolved personal injury case, call me and let's get you in the best shape of your life. Schedule a visit with me, Dr. Z.
We are located at the Overland Trail Shop in LaPorte. Call 970-667-4669. EVOLyourself.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to Riell Truth. I am Howard Riell. Before I give you Ann Coulter on video, I'm going to give you Ann Coulter in the written word. Her latest column, How Trump Could Ruin His Presidency. Here's what she says. I'm quoting. Soon after Trump's announcement speech, I said he would win the nomination and likely the election. It wasn't that hard to predict. For anyone familiar with the Republican Party's repeated betrayals of the American people, it was a 2-foot putt. I issued this warning with the same certitude. In fact, for the exact same reason I knew anyone running on Trump's platform would have unbreakable support from millions of voters. What coalesced Trump's base, what made his support tempered steel, was the fact that voters have been lied to over and over again on many things, but most smugly and repeatedly on immigration. How many times did we have to see the GOP choke? There's 30 seconds left in the game. Republicans are down by 2. They move the ball up the court, have a man in position, and every time the GOP would do anything to avoid taking the 3-point shot. That is the beating heart of the anger that voters felt toward the party. No one trusted Republicans to ever score when they had the ball. It's why Trump supporters stuck with him through thick and thin. His attack on war hero John McCain, parentheses, he deserved it. His mocking a disabled reporter, parentheses, a lie. His lazy first debate performance, totally true, and the Access Hollywood tape, oh well. After he gave that Mexican rapist speech and never backed down, Trump's base would have brushed off 6 more Access Hollywood tapes, all because they think Trump will take the shot. Well, he'd better. As the popular vote proves, we don't have 30 seconds on the clock, it's only 3. But if he breaks a major campaign promise, his supporters will turn on him with a blind ferocity, dwarfing their rage toward Jeb, because Trump's is the more exquisite con. He will have duped them, and he will never, ever, ever get them back. Most of his promises can be kept with little trouble. He will appoint good judges, cut regulations, replace Obamacare, and renegotiate trade deals. In other words, he'll do all the things any Republican president would do, plus the trade deals. But the moment Trump attempts to make good on his central promise to remove troublesome immigrants and give us our country back, every major institution in America will declare war on him. Trump knows that. In his Phoenix immigration speech, he said, "To all the politicians, donors, and special interests, hear these words from me and all of you today. There's only one core issue in the immigration debate, and that issue is the well-being of the American people." If powerful interests are not furiously opposed to Trump's idea that immigration should benefit Americans rather than foreigners, our immigration policies would already do so. It will surprise consumers of American media to learn this, but every promise Trump made on immigration is already the law. Why? Because politicians know that that's what the public wants, so they pass the laws and then refuse to enforce them. But if Trump doesn't appoint the sort of people capable of fulfilling his campaign promises on immigration, he will fail. He'll be just another lying politician, and his supporters will watch in horror as rapists, terrorists, and drug dealers continue living in our country. There will be no one person to blame. No one is ever to blame in Washington. They just won't get it done. Then, well into the Trump presidency, some Muslim will commit a machete act, shoot up a community center, stage a mass slaughter at a gay nightclub, or bomb a marathon. There's no question but that the terrorist attacks won't stop unless Trump nominates people who know what needs to be done and aren't intimidated by testing New York Times editorials. There will be more Americans like Kate Steinle, Grant Ronbeck, and Joshua Wilkerson killed by illegal aliens. There will be more children addicted to heroin brought in by Mexican drug cartels. There will be more parents joining the Remembrance Project. But this time, they'll blame Trump. And then it will be Trump's opponents saying, "What's wrong with our politicians, our leaders, if we can call them that? What the hell are they doing?" If Trump betrays voters on immigration, he can have as many rallies as he wants, but Americans will say, "Been there, done that, you screwed us." He will never escape the stink of broken campaign promises. So unless Trump has another 60 million voters hiding someplace, the appointments he makes today to state, defense, homeland security, labor, even the IRS, will determine whether he's remembered as America's greatest president or if the Trump name will become a cautionary tale in American politics. At this precise moment, not after his inauguration, not in year 2 of his administration, but today as he fills his cabinet, Trump has to decide if he's going to be like every other politician, throw a brick or grab the ball and score. Whether he's listening or not, his supporters are screaming, "Trump, now, take the shot." unquote. Once again, as is usually the case, my good friends, and Coulter is right. You know, you and I love Trump because we love what he's going to do. If he doesn't do it, even though he knows it needs to be done, if he doesn't do it, even though he said he'll do it, then Ann Coulter's right. That means we've been swindled again. It means we've been hornswoggled again. We've been lied to again. What's the difference between some political hack like Jeb Bush or Paul Ryan or John Kasich lying to us and Donald Trump lying to us? Well, the answer is simple. We expect politicians to lie to us, and they do. We don't expect Donald Trump to lie to us, and thus far he hasn't. So if he allows immigration to slide, that means things will get progressively worse in a variety of ways. It will have been a campaign promise he broke. It will have been a sellout to the special interests he decried for a year and a half. And it will be a failure. Even if it's just that one issue, it will be a failure. Now, if I were a betting man, I would say no. I don't believe Trump is going to punk out on immigration. I think he's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. So he's got to take the shot. He can't listen to the party stalwarts. He can't listen to the pundits. Can't listen to the media, and I don't think he's going to. Can't even listen to the Reince Priebus's and the Mitt Romneys of the world. He's got to do what he said he will do. As far as I know, that's what God asks of all of us. Do what you say you're going to do, because if you don't, then you're a liar. No one can depend on you, and society can't function that way. I believe that Trump will do what he's promised to do on immigration and on every other issue, and that he will go down as this generation's Ronald Reagan, and hence one of the great presidents in the history of this nation. That's what I'm betting will happen, and I'm pretty confident. If it doesn't happen, that sucks. And it sucks in a permanent way for America. We'll take a break. Riell Truth will return.
TLR Associates of Boulder knows that our military men and women are appreciated and valuable. Coming home after a war and transitioning from a life in uniform to a life without one is difficult. The suicide rate for vets in the first 3 years of return is high. If you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, don't wait to call the VA Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Get the help you deserve. Brought to you by TLR Medallion Branded Stucco Protection, serving Boulder and Northern Colorado, and providing a job well done for home or business with design in stucco, stone, and brick. Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom-tailored capabilities as modest as emergency lighting all the way to commercial-scale power. Great Plains Power is a full-service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
All right, guys, we are back. Howard Riell Truth. I'm going to give you even more Ann Coulter just because I love and respect you. Here she is today, earlier today, on the Mike Coulter radio show. Let's listen in.
Welcome back to the program. Ann Coulter. Ann, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I am great. Must give you credit. I think it was probably about a year ago that we spoke to you last. No, it had to be a little bit longer than that because I don't even think Trump had announced his candidacy for president. And I said to you, who are you going to support and who are you going to vote for? And your only answer at that time was you will back the person that had the strongest stance on immigration, which clearly you knew more than we did at that point.
And who ever imagined it would be Donald Trump?
Well, you must have known. How did you know? You had heard rumblings in the camp. You knew he was going to do it. You knew. Did you know about? When did you know about the wall?
The same time everyone else did that announcement speech. You know, I'm from the New York area, and I'd never really paid that much attention to Trump. He's sort of he's almost, it's like the Empire State Building. He's more of a touristy thing.
What a great way to put that. He's always been there by F.L. Schwartz. We just always know he's there.
Right, but New Yorkers were never that really into him. At least that's my impression. And I'm almost embarrassed to say this now. If you would ask me before he announced for president, I probably would have said what a lot of the Never-Trumpers, how they portray him exclusively just as, you know, this loudmouth lout, publicity-seeking, shallow, narcissistic. I would have said, if I said anything at all, I'd never seen The Apprentice. I didn't have much of an opinion of him. And wow, then he gave that Mexican rapist speech. My heart forever.
So you're going to tell me that when you were on our show last time and you said you will support the candidate that had the strongest platform about immigration, you were not secretly talking about Trump at that point?
If he hadn't announced yet, no, I wasn't. In fact, up until he announced, weirdly enough, the person with the strongest position on immigration had been Mitt Romney. That's why I supported him the last time around. In fact, I go through all the Republican candidates at the end of the last chapter, I think it's the last chapter of my second to last book, Adios America, and I go through all the Republicans running for president and what their positions are, just, you know, a few sentences on each one.
Right.
Jeb Bush, illegal immigration is an act of love. Marco Rubio promises to run against. Promises he will not support amnesty, gets to Washington. Let me unveil my big legislative initiative, amnesty. So the rest of them were just absolute disasters. And then, well, who knew it could be as great as Trump? Though I must say, in part, and God bless him, I pushed the immigration issue. I mean, I go and I give a lot of talks out in America. I travel through America. I see what the problems are in America. Yeah, I knew this was a huge issue, and I tried to push it desperately on several candidates who ran for president this year or in other years, and they disregarded me. Donald Trump saw me talking about Adios America on Jorge Ramos, and I was on my way to the airport leaving that interview when I got an email from his people saying, please overnight a copy of your book to Trump. So he read it.
Wow. Do you think Romney would be good in the Trump administration?
Well, Romney is a cautionary tale. Always trust Coulter. I thought he would have been, if he hadn't been such a pill, I thought he would have been a great vice president for Trump. But no, he went and he attacked him. And I don't know, on one hand, yes, I think he'd be fine. He did have the best position on immigration, and the Secretary of State does have a lot to do with immigration. Also, he's obviously an attractive, elegant, well-spoken person. But he did say some really awful things about Trump. On the other hand, if he's going to make Nikki Haley UN ambassador, she, in her response to Obama's State of the Union this year, she used it to attack Donald Trump.
Right. Yes.
On Good Morning America, yeah, that was an attack on Trump. So this calendar year, in January, both the President of the United States in his State of the Union address and the Republican response were both attacks on Donald Trump. And everybody's trying to figure out why the American people hate Washington.
I have to tell you, I thought more of Trump the day that he met with Romney, because he seemed to me like a guy who will now spend the rest of his career trying to crush Romney and take shots on him every chance again. The next thing you know, he's having meetings with him. So in my mind, I said, well, look, here's a guy who's putting aside his personal feelings for a way to better the country. And I thought that it was a huge positive in this part. Now, whether it plays out or not, I don't know. This is Ann Coulter that we're talking to. Her new book is In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome, which he loves to get out and promote, which obviously was evident with your appearance at the roast. That was a very ballsy move to be out there. Did you expect that, that you would get as much shrapnel as you did?
I suspected I wouldn't be wildly popular with the Hollywood set.
Yeah. Who were you most annoyed with?
I wasn't annoyed at all. It was fantastic publicity, and when you're promoting my side, i.e. America's side on immigration, you'll probably run into a big fat blacklist. So the only thing I was disappointed in was that my name wasn't on the marquee. Nobody even knows who was being roasted that night. It was an Ann Coulter roast.
I'll take it. Yeah, take it. Who cares? The one thing I do want to ask you about that is that the rumor was that they had offered to provide you comedy from the writers, and you turned it down.
They were awful.
Were they really?
Yeah. Awful.
Let's see, that's interesting. I didn't know that part. Usually,
Well, you saw some of it from the professional comedians. It was, I don't really care. You can call me a C word all night. I prefer for it to be funny.
Right. Well, look, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I would have walked away from that. I wouldn't have minded if you would have punched Pete Davidson.
I was the only one who told jokes. And, it's a very useful thing. I think, if I can stand to be called the C word all night, and somebody counted it up, at least the ones they showed on TV, and it was a lot longer in person. It went for more than 3.5 hours.
That's a lot of C words.
And maybe we can all join together and recognize that words don't hurt anyone, so, the rest of you can stop fainting and bringing lawsuits when I say illegal alien or sanctuary city or anchor baby or retard. How about we start recognizing sticks and stones?
I can't afford to say that word anymore. Is it a good word? What's the number one? See, I've had so many words taken away from me in this job. I miss a lot of them. Yeah.
No, well, okay, whenever anybody attacks you, just remind them of the Ann Coulter roast.
I'm going to call somebody an R word and say, well, it's because she called her the C. You're like the Jesus of my words. You took all the punishment for me. Ann Coulter's book is In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome. It is available at AnnCoulter.com. It's always good to talk to you. And
guys, I've been telling you about that book for a long time, for many, many months. I hope my words sink in. Now, you should be buying 2 books. 3 books. Adios America and In Trump We Trust by Ann Coulter. And, of course, Riell Truth Stay Angry by your humble host. Each of them is a great read that will fill your head with good stuff. Item. From Reuters, Native American reservations cover just 2% of the United States, but they may contain about 1/5 of the nation's oil and gas, along with vast coal reserves. Now a group of advisors to President-elect Donald Trump on Native American issues wants to free those resources from what they call a suffocating federal bureaucracy that holds title to 56 million acres of tribal lands. 2 chairmen of the coalition told Reuters in exclusive interviews. The group proposes to put those lands into private ownership, a politically explosive idea that could upend more than a century of policy designed to preserve Indian tribes on U.S.-owned reservations, which are governed by tribal leaders as sovereign nations. The tribes have rights to use the land, but they do not own it. They can drill it and reap the profits, but only under regulations far more burdensome than those applied to private property, unquote. My friends, there's a lot of questions about Native Americans today. Are they patriotic Americans? Not that oil pipeline. They don't want the pipeline to be laid. America needs the pipeline laid to help achieve energy independence. And so I'm asking my Native American listeners, are you patriotic Americans who want what's best for America? Or do you not care what's best for America, only for what's best for your tribe or your reservation. It's time to put up or shut up. Item from FTVLive.com. CNN correspondent Suzanne Malveau's joke was covering the Carrier press conference that featured both Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Carrier was able to negotiate huge tax breaks for their company if they promised not to move all their jobs to Mexico. FTV Live has obtained video of Malveaux before her live hit on CNN. The crew was waiting on Trump's appearance at the press conference and waiting for his plane to land. At one point, the crew joked about Trump's plane crashing. Unquote. My friends, the reason Americans hate CNN more than ever, and the reasons more and more Americans are tuning off CNN, is because CNN is the spoiled, rotten, stupid child. Give me what I want, or I'm going to start throwing things. I'm going to spill my juice. I'm going to throw the erasers. I'm going to have a hissy fit. That's what CNN is, and people are hip to it now, and people just won't put up with it anymore. There's nothing of value to be heard or seen on CNN. When you tune into CNN, you're going to be lied to repeatedly. Same for MSNBC. Same for CNBC. Same for ABC, CBS, NBC. You name it. The major moneyed media will lie to you. Now, my friends, why would you put on the TV station that you know in advance is going to lie to your face and treat you like you're the child? You're not the child. You're the adult. Believe me, if you're listening to this radio show, you are a mature, intelligent adult. Why on earth would you sit still for being treated like a stupid child by the stupid children themselves at CNN and elsewhere? When you go to a store and buy something, you insist on the best quality, and you deserve to have the quality you've paid for. Would you pay for high quality and accept shoddy merchandise? Of course you wouldn't. So if you're going to use your precious time to get informed about what's going on in the world, why on earth would you tune into CNN? Item from John Hayward writing at Breitbart. Retired Marine Corps General James Mattis is President-elect Donald Trump's choice for Defense Secretary. He's one of the most quotable figures in modern public life. He rarely gives a speech without saying something that should be emblazoned on coffee mugs or in some cases stenciled on the side of bombs. Here are some of General James Mattis's greatest hits. Quote, "Be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everybody you meet. No war is over until the enemy says it's over. We may think it's over, we may declare it over, but in fact the enemy gets a vote. You are part of the world's most feared and trusted force. Engage your brain before you engage your weapon. Share your courage with each other as we enter the uncertain terrain north of the line of departure. Keep faith in your comrades on the left and the right and Marine air overhead. Fight with a happy heart and strong spirit. From our first days at San Diego, Paris Island, or Quantico, NCOs bluntly explained to us that the Corps would be entirely satisfied if you gave 100% and entirely dissatisfied if we gave 99%. And those NCOs taught us the great pleasure of doing what others thought impossible. Now from a distance, I look back on what the Corps taught me, to think like men of action and to act like men of thought. I've never found it to be useful. I've always found, give me a pack of cigarettes and a couple of beers, and I do better with that than I do with torture. Every morning I woke up and the first three questions I had to do with Iran and Iran and Iran. It remains the single most belligerent actor in the Middle East. You go to Afghanistan, you got guys who slap women around for 5 years because they didn't wear a veil. You know, guys like that ain't got no manhood left anyway. So it's a hell of a lot of fun to shoot them. There's some people who think you have to hate them in order to shoot them. I don't think you do. It's just business. Unquote. My friends, that's what a general should sound like. We'll take a break, and we'll be back. More Riell Truth to come.
TLR Associates of Boulder knows that our military men and women are appreciated and valuable. Coming home after a war and transitioning from a life in uniform to a life without one is difficult. The suicide rate for vets in the first 3 years of return is high.
If you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, don't wait to call the VA Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Get the help you deserve. Brought to you by TLR Medallion Branded Stucco Protection, serving Boulder and Northern Colorado and providing a job well done for home or business with design in stucco, stone, and brick.
I'm here with the DuPont Pioneer team. So tell us, what are you bringing to the table to help producers manage feed costs?
Feed management is always on a producer's mind.
It sure is. So we take a whole operation approach to help them maximize feed value.
By combining the right products with our expertise and services, we can help producers improve profitability.
It's big picture thinking for big time production. So work with your DuPont Pioneer team to get the most out of every bite. Pioneer, with you from the word go.
Sick of playing the guessing game with your vitamins? Tired of paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars for supplements that may or may not work? If you're a professional athlete or just looking for nutritional peace of mind, look no more because you've found Bio Superfood, the next generation in supplementation. 100% natural Bio Superfood packs all your essential proteins, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, enzymes, and many of nature's special forces you need for optimum health. Call BioAge at 877-288-9116, 877-288-9116.
The Patriot Trading Group is a different kind of gold and silver company, cleaning up the industry for 21 years. Are you tired of the high-pressure sales tactics, the constant phone calls? Are you done with the bait and switch? You just want to be treated fairly with honesty and respect? That's exactly what you get when you call 800-951-0592. You have my word on it. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Check us out online at allamericangold.com.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10.
Census for uniform people in grading, police, firefighters, EMTs, and 9/11 dispatchers work in our community. We thank them for doing a great job keeping our area fit, shop, and raise a family. We realize their job is dangerous and sometimes census for uniform people in grading. Call 352-2233. They're on the air because they care. Named one of the most admired outsourcing companies in America. Census for uniform people in Greeley.
All right, guys, welcome back to Riell Truth. I just got through talking to you about CNN. Now I'm going to have my friends at the Alex Jones Show on Infowars.com talk to you a little bit more about CNN. Let's listen in.
Well, I tell you what, I guess they never learn. That what doesn't kill Donald Trump and Infowars only makes us stronger. Margaret Howell's in the studio with us, and I wanted to get your take on that CNN hit piece. Where do we begin? There's so many lies in there about Alex Jones. I mean, it never ends.
They're shameless lies. Not only are they lying, but they know that they're lying. They're doing it anyway. And here's why they're doing it, because they're on the losing end of the stick. They know that they're not relevant. Their narrative is crumbled. It's gone. So, Darren, and I know that we put this in the clip, there's actually a cry-on with Alex Jones, our boss's face, and it says KKK leader praises ban and choice. He's not a KKK leader, folks. I mean, I don't know if you've gotten the message or not, but yeah, that's kind of, I should say lawsuit-worthy. You know, they don't care. We're talking about a network that aired 30 minutes of straight porn on Thanksgiving and didn't notice. That's who we're dealing with. They're supposedly the media elites in this country.
Well, they always, when they mention Alex Jones in the same breath, it's always conspiracy theory, and they always talk about the 9/11 cover-up, which is no longer a conspiracy theory, folks. It is out in the open. Google search the 28 pages. Turn off your televisions and do some simple research. The documents are now declassified thanks to the 9/11 victims' families who have been pushing Congress for disclosure for a very, very long time. We now know for a fact that the government of Saudi Arabia and members of the Saudi royal family helped train and finance the 9/11 hijackers. This was an act of war, and the cover-up went all the way to the top of the Bush administration. It's a historical fact. We cover it. CNN refuses to do so.
Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. this for now. More importantly, though, at this point, the 28 pages, the heavily redacted 28 pages that were under a vault, guarded, lock and key, no one could see them except for very high elite officials. A FOIA request was submitted. This has taken years to get this unlocked. They're redacted so heavily anyway. Here's what we know. We know that Saudi Arabia is directly implicated and involved in 9/11. Those are just facts, folks. And the 9/11 Commission report, which is mostly false anyway, we have 28 pages of somewhat accurate information, and we can't have those, shared with the public, Darren, because, that really hacks into the lie that maybe they told us to get into war.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I want to go over the real fake news, and that is CNN.
Right.
CNN has a long history of fake news. Let's take a look at some of this. CNN anchors fake a satellite interview in the same parking lot. I mean, you could see the same bus driving by in the background as they pretend to talk to each other from separate locations. They're actually sitting right next to each other, probably as close as you and I are right now.
Right.
WikiLeaks, CNN's Donna Brazil. You know about all this. I mean, they gave her she gave Hillary Clinton the questions in advance at these debates.
There's no, it's mind-boggling how, of course they had to let her go and let her fall on the sword because they can't actually take any responsibility.
She denied it for weeks until the second one came out.
Exactly. Then you can't really, oh wow, Donna Brazil, where to start with that? But the fact that she was at CNN to begin with, what does that say about their credibility? We're talking about a woman who's made very controversial statements. Look, she's got no problem lying, I will say.
Here's another one, and this one happened right after the election.
Remember
the guy? They interviewed Donald Trump protesters. CNN
caught up with this guy. He was very angry,
Protester.
and it turned out to be he was the
He
cameraman.
worked for CNN.
So they needed somebody that was pissed off at Donald Trump. They said, "Well, let's just get our cameraman." Okay, there's another one. And now I remember this was early during the campaign. Jeb Bush was still running. And CNN ran a report. This was a full report of an angry woman at a Trump rally who was supposed to be an average woman from the audience, and she was mad at Trump for the way he treats women. But she turned out to be a Jeb Bush staffer, and she was planted in the audience. Now, we discovered this within minutes here at InfoWars. CNN, they certainly could have done the same, but they ran with the story anyway.
Donald Trump is always using the C word about women. I cherish women. I cherish women. I cherish women.
I don't think that you're a friend to women.
I knew I shouldn't have picked her. Did Mom ever stare at you like this, Donald?
So
That's
they're
what
the
they
real
do.
fake news.
They're the real fake news. That's right. CNN, your time is up. You're at the back of the bus. I just hope that he revokes their press passes, that they don't have a seat at the table in the White House press briefing room. That would just,
Well, and Alex,
maybe put him in the back.
But yeah, put them in the back. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we also know this. Independent media, social media is taking over. A lot of times Trump's not even going to have to do press conferences. He can get on Twitter or just do a video on Facebook.
Just live stream, bypass all this garbage altogether. They're going to take everything you say anyway and twist it, contort it, and lie about you. You might as well, I'm greatly encouraged by the meeting that he had with media elites in this country.
Mm-hmm.
He understands what they tried to do to him very well. And I think that the live streaming aspect of that would be a much better decision as opposed to entertaining these frauds. They're frauds.
They're absolute frauds. Now, do you think that fake news, that's going to be the new narrative, and it's going to replace conspiracy theories? It's not going to be fake news.
Excuse me. I think that, no, I do. They've tried to paint us as fake news. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
Even doing a hit piece, Aaron Burnett did a hit piece on Alex and trying to link him to Trump so that Trump disavows him. They're the real fake news. I'm so tired of hearing this. We've seen Yahoo News come out and try to censor and indict fake news. Facebook accounts being taken down if they're reporting any truth or any facts. Twitter being censored. I want to tell people, and Leanne and I touched on this briefly last night, Twitter, Jack Dorsey owes Trump a check for just the fame and traffic that he brought to Twitter. How dare he? They'd rather cut off their own hands and stop making money as long as they can hurt Trump somehow, as opposed to just, getting on with it. It's really strange.
Well, and same with the mainstream news media. I tell you what, their ratings would skyrocket if they just tell the truth.
Correct.
But it's not about that. They're in bed with the establishment. That's where they get their marching orders, and that's what this is all about. Look,
Their ratings would skyrocket if they just told the truth. Well, I happen to believe that's true. All you get on this show is truth. Have you seen my ratings skyrocket? Why not? See all the invitations I've had to speak in the state of Colorado? Let me see. By now it's got to be 0. Are people in Colorado afraid to hear the truth? Colorado went for Hillary in the election. So what's up with people in Colorado? Do the majority of Coloradans not want to hear the truth? Is that why I've never been invited to speak anywhere in the state, to any organization whatsoever? Is that why I've never been interviewed by the media, even though I'm a radio personality? And a controversial one? What do you say, guys? Call me and tell me. Because I'd like to know. When we come back, I'm going to have another video. I got more news for you. I got lots of interesting stuff. If you want to call me and tell me why I have been effectively shunned in the state of Colorado after 8.5 years, I'd love to know. So call me and tell me that. You got my call-in number. And that's really it. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
We know our government is out of control. It's no longer our servant, it's become our master. Listen to me. Liberty Forum with the Freedom Rider will answer the question, what can we do? Our freedom and liberty is at stake. It's time to act. Those who have given everything for this country would expect no less. Tune in to the new Liberty Forum radio show Fridays at 9 a.m. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Sick of playing the guessing game with your vitamins? Tired of paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars for supplements that may or may not work? If you're a professional athlete or just looking for nutritional peace of mind, look no more because you've found Bio Superfood, the next generation in supplementation. 100% natural Bio Superfood packs all your essential proteins, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, enzymes, and many of nature's special forces you need for optimum health. Call BioAge at 877-288-9116, 877-288-9116.
And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15.
All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Riell Truth. You know, I have a ton of respect for Ann Coulter and for Alex Jones and for Tucker Carlson on Fox News. Here he's talking to some New York City councilman, Democrat, schmuck, who's in favor of sanctuary cities. In other words, we know the law, but we don't feel like enforcing it. So anyone who's a criminal, you come here and live with us. And if they commit crimes against the population, well, that's too bad. Here's Tucker Carlson dissecting piece by piece a moron New York City councilman who's defending sanctuary cities. Here we go.
Welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight, the show that is the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink, bane of bullies, hero to dogs and small children everywhere. We're joining us now is an ally of Mayor de Blasio. He is New York City Council member Rafael Salamanca, who represents the Bronx. It's great to see you, Ms. Salamanca. So there's something that evokes memories in this. And we saw this in the 1950s and 60s. States and municipalities defied federal law in a bunch of different places, in Little Rock, for example, in Alabama and Mississippi, and the Fed sent troops in, sent tanks in to enforce federal law. How is this different from that?
Well, I don't think the federal government is going to send in tanks or...
Well, why would it? Why is it different from what happened before?
Well, to be quite frank, I can't explain what happened before, but I can explain what's happening now.
Okay.
He can't explain what happened before because he doesn't know, because he's largely ignorant. So the question is, how did he get elected if he doesn't know that much? That's easy. He was elected by people who also don't know very much, and so they're more than happy to have an ignoramus representing them. Back to the video.
NYC, it's an ID that the city of New York has, which residents in my district and in the city of New York are taking good advantage of, right? Because of, number one, what it provides. We have I have a lot of my constituents, also residents that live in my community, who do not have a form of ID. And therefore, what ID NYC does is that it allows you to have a form of ID should you have any interaction with police officers.
I understand that, but what the mayor was saying is, look, there are federal laws about who's allowed to be in the country and who's not, and we're ignoring them, and there's nothing you can do about it. Why is that not a violation of the law itself? You're an elected official looking at the federal government and saying, I'm not obeying. Why is that okay?
Well, I don't think that that's what the mayor's saying, that he's not obeying. What the mayor's saying is that he's going to protect residents of the city, in the city of New York. And in the city of New York, we have individuals who are documented and undocumented. And he's looking out for the best interests of the residents.
So New York is a sanctuary city, which means it protects people who are breaking immigration laws, right? The federal laws, they're being broken, but those people are protected by the city of New York. My question is, once you start deciding we're not recognizing certain laws, why stop with immigration laws? Why wouldn't New York City be a sanctuary city for tax evaders, for example, or people who use heroin? I mean, who decides which laws New Yorkers have to follow and which they don't?
Well, I don't think that that's what the mayor is implying.
It's what he said.
Well, no, to be quite frank, I don't think that that's what the mayor is implying. What the mayor is implying...
Hear what's happening, my friends? Now listen closely. Tucker Carlson is asking him for his opinion, and he's talking about the mayor instead of giving his opinion. Why won't he give his opinion? Because he knows his opinion will show him to be an ignoramus. He can't answer a straight question. You find this among Democrats all the time. He refuses to answer a straight question. Tip-off numero uno. Back to the video.
Is that he's looking out for residents in the city of New York. And, you know, his conversation, my understanding and watching the media, and he was very frank and clear to President-elect Trump that he's going to do everything that he can in his power to protect his constituents.
And Trump is saying, I mean, you have a legitimate difference of opinion here, but Trump is saying there's a law that prohibits people who are here illegally from working and continuing to collect benefits. And your mayor and you are saying, no, we're ignoring the law. They're doing something. Or you're not saying that. Do you think the people who are here illegally should face the legal consequences?
No, what I'm saying is that, so the federal government, they're the ones who enforce the law, correct?
That's right.
And the state has to abide by what the federal government has to say. But we also have a right to say, hey, we want to defend our constituents.
Typical Democrat schmuck. In fact, he does not have the right to defend his constituents when the federal government has already said they're criminals, number one. Number two, what is a constituent? A constituent is someone who is a citizen of your municipality. Illegals, by definition, are not citizens, and so they are not, you get it right. Back to the video.
Whether they're documented or undocumented. And this is very clear.
Okay, schmuck, answer a question for me. If you are representing both people here legally and people who are not citizens of the United States, does that mean you're also representing citizens who are not citizens? Does it mean you're also representing people who are not citizens of the United States who live in China? Are you representing people in Mongolia? Because they're also not citizens here. What about people in Sweden? Do you represent them too? Because they are also not citizens here. Do you see where the logic goes awry?
Yeah, the reason that the mayor is being so frank is because of President-elect's stance on immigration and what he plans on doing. And so...
yeah, what Donald Trump plans on doing, God help us, is following the law. Enforcing the law. Now, maybe a large part of the population this guy represents is composed of criminals. That doesn't mean you look after their interests. It means you put their asses in jail. He's trying to excuse the inexcusable. Half a minute more.
But his stance is not different from what the law currently is under President Obama. He's merely saying, I'm going to enforce the law. And your argument is you shouldn't enforce the law.
No, what
sort of an odd message for an elected official to send.
What his stance is saying is that he's going to go after and he's just going to deport all undocumented immigrants. But there's a repercussion to that. What about families? The families that are here. You're going to break families.
Wrong. Schmuck. If families are here illegally and they get broken up, it's not the government's fault that they're getting broken up. It's the criminals' fault. The people who came here and brought their family here illegally or had a family here illegally. If I go in and rob a bank and the police catch me and I crash my car when the police are chasing me, is it the police's fault that the car was crashed? Or is it my fault for robbing the bank? This guy's a New York City councilman. He hasn't got 2 IQ points to rub together. He's going to defend criminals because that's what his people want. Well, we need to educate his people that the law is important and must be followed. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be back, my friends. More Real Truth on the other side of this break.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10. We know our government is out of control. It's no longer our servant, it's become our master. Listen to me. Liberty Forum with the Freedom Rider will answer the question, what can we do? Our freedom and liberty is at stake. It's time to act. Those who have given everything for this country would expect no less. Tune in to the new Liberty Forum radio show Fridays at 9 a.m.
If catastrophe struck, would your family be prepared? Are you confident you wouldn't react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Paris Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Paris Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Paris Survival.
The Lord brings the counsel of the nations to nothing. He makes the plans of the people of no effect. The counsel of the Lord stands forever, the plans of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he has chosen as his own inheritance. Psalm 33, verses 10 through 12.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. 4 minutes to go. Item from InfoWars. What's worse, jihad or the sanction and support of its victims? It's depravity, a sickness of the soul, or perhaps it speaks more to a moral bankruptcy, like the daughter of one of the victims of the San Bernardino jihad slaughter who said, I just kind of didn't understand how people could be that ignorant about another religion, said Kate Bowman, recalling the day her father, Harry Bowman, was murdered. Who doesn't understand, Ms. Bowman? The dead or the jihadis? This is hardly unique. Maria Leidenberger, the rape-murder victim of a Muslim migrant and whose father is a senior EU official, told people not to bring flowers to the funeral, but give money to pro-migrant organizations that work to stop the deportation of refugees. These are the acts of a conquered people. Their daughter was brutally raped and murdered by a Muslim refugee, and the parents are urging donations to an organization for migrants. Unquote. My friends, this is the liberal sickness of soul. Someone murders your daughter, you help that person. Don't tell me about turning the other cheek. Only a fool would do something like this. If there's a mad dog loose in your house, you get it out of your house. Item from Breitbart. The Obama administration is warning Americans not to cast blame on Muslims after a student at Ohio State University launched an attack on innocent civilians that was likely inspired by Islamic State terrorists. Our response to the situation matters, said White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest to reporters during the press briefing. If we respond to this situation by casting aspersions on millions of people that adhere to a particular religion, or if we increase our suspicion of people who practice a particular religion, we are more likely going to contribute to acts of violence than we are to prevent them. Unquote. My friends, I don't know Josh Earnest. I know he's paid to lie for the Obama administration. This lie in particular will get innocent people murdered. Yeah, all the terrorism comes from Islam, but don't for a minute suggest that all the terrorism comes from Islam. All the jihadis are Muslims, but don't suggest that all the jihadis are Muslims. Now what I would expect from the press secretary to a guy named Hussein. We shouldn't be dancing around with Islam in America. We should be banning Islam in America. Item from Reuters. On a hilltop in the occupied West Bank, Israeli teenagers are hammering stakes into the earth and erecting tent frames, preparing the ground for a confrontation with Israeli security forces. The devoutly religious young men see themselves as a last line of defense for Amona, a collection of prefab homes perched in the highlands of the West Bank. It's considered an illegal outpost under Israeli law, and the Supreme Court has ruled it must be demolished by December 25th. Stop! My friends, this is proof that people don't learn. Israel, in the past, has demolished settler homes. Demolished them and given them to Palestinian Nazi murdering terrorists. You would think of all the people crawling around on the surface of the earth that Israelis would have gotten the message by now that you can't live with terrorists, that terrorism will continue, you've got to get rid of terrorists. But here they are uprooting Jews from Jewish land. God forbid they should uproot terrorists from Jewish land. But they uproot Jews from Jewish land to make room for terrorists. Then they wonder why, oh why, terrorism continues. My friends, what can I tell you? It is sheer lunacy, and it's not in short supply. I'll be back tomorrow with some more real truth, my friends. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay angry. All right, guys, all done. I will see you tomorrow. Hasta luego.